2021 has had a strong start in the anime department so far, with new shows like Jujutsu Kaisen and Horimiya gaining momentum, and even ongoing shows like Attack on Titan, Dr. Stone, Quintessential Quintuplets, and plenty of more have made these first few months of 2021 jam-packed with entertainment and hype all around. But out of all the animes that have come out so far, there has only been one that has been so unique, creative, fun, and different, and has been on my mind even after I finished watching it a couple of weeks ago. And that anime is Wonder Egg Priority. On the surface, Wonder Egg Priority looks like a cute and wholesome show with its vibrant art style and colors, and even the main character is so adorable and happy. But the truth is, this anime is deceiving you in every way possible and is honestly brilliant. Before I go any further in this video, I will be discussing the plot and characters and many other things, so if you haven't seen Wonder Egg Priority, do yourself a big favor and go watch it ASAP. I promise you it's worth your time, and then once you're done, come back and check out this video. The plot of Wonder Egg Priority is very unique and interesting, and have never seen it be done in any other anime, let alone any other piece of art. The story follows our main character, Ai Ayoto, a young teenage girl who is sadly being bullied by other students at her school. And the main thing that is fueling this hate around her is the fact that she has heterochromia, which is basically when you have two different colored eyes and is more commonly found in cats and dogs. This change in appearance even causes her to have no friends, and it is made very clear even in the first episode that she is lonely and is longing for someone to love her. Luckily for her, someone does reach out to her and wants to be her friend, and that person is Koyoto Nagase. And for the first time, someone actually compliments Ai's eyes and finds them beautiful. Slowly, Ai starts to open up to Koyoto and is so happy that someone acknowledges her as an actual human being and not some ugly freak. But sadly, other people don't think the same and shift the hate they had towards Ai to even Koyoto. But Koyoto is strong and shrugs it off and continues to be friends with Ai. Unfortunately, this strong relationship between Ai and Koyoto does not last for long, and for reasons Ai does not know, Koyoto commits suicide. The one person that cared about her and loved her for who she was has now left her all alone, and even causes Ai to stop going to school altogether. One day, as Ai walks around, she meets this entity which leads her to a mysterious place and tells her the thing she seeks the most can be accomplished by taking an egg out of this machine, and that the first is free. Ai, confused, takes the egg home and ponders about what it really is and decides she wants to see what's inside. The following night, as she sleeps, she awakens in another realm that looks just like her school, and she has the egg with her. Eventually, she does end up cracking the egg, and what comes out of the egg startles Ai and actually has a girl inside of it. And before they can have a proper introduction, they start to get chased by these monsters. It turns out Ai can't be harmed in this realm, but the girl with her can, and when Ai realizes this, she stops dead in her tracks and doesn't follow the girl anymore, leaving her to fend the monsters by herself. Ai contemplates what she has just done, starts to feel the same guilt she had in the past when she was not able to help Koyoto when she was getting bullied, and decides she wants to stop being selfish and wants to change. She proceeds to chase after the girl, and with the help of her pencil that transforms into a weapon, kills the main leader of the monsters. After this insane battle goes down, Ai has freed this egg girl and learns that she too has committed suicide due to bullying. Next, Ai finds out that if she can save and protect more egg girls, then she can see Koyoto again. So she makes that her goal, and to also ask her why she killed herself. The rest of the anime follows Ai's journey to reach her goal, and along the way, as she continues to save more egg girls, the monsters she comes across become stronger, and so the road ahead gradually becomes harder. The anime also dives deeper on why these egg girls chose to take their life, and all are different from one another, and I found it very interesting to listen to their stories and their perspective. Also, she meets other girls that also buy eggs for their own personal reasons and slowly become friends, and the story also elaborates on the other characters' struggles and who they so desperately want to see again and why they want to. All the characters in One Direct Priority are very carefully crafted, are very likable, and all bring depth, meaning, and purpose to the story. I found it really fascinating to learn each one of Ai's friends' personalities and also what type of struggles they are going through. Since I already talked about Ai and her struggles in the plot section, let's dive deeper into her friends next. Miru Aonuma is the first friend of Ai's we are introduced to, and the first time we see her is when she is buying a bunch of eggs out of the machine, and the reason why is because her sister stabbed her in the back and then proceeded to kill herself with no reason why, and so she constantly pushes herself to keep saving as many egg girls as possible so she can see her sister again. The scar Niru's sister left on her back always aches every time she thinks about her, and the only thing that stops the psychological pain is saving other egg girls. This reckless behavior of helping multiple girls without proper rest in between takes a toll on Niru's body, and she even gets hospitalized for it, which also shows that she isn't even afraid of death to reach her goals. Along with this pain she faces every day, she is a hard worker, trying to maintain the company she's in charge of even at such a young age. Niru's personality towards Ai when they first meet is cold, and she pretty much just ignores Ai while she tries to talk to her, and even gives Ai her business card saying now we can buy eggs on odd days so we don't need to see each other. Eventually, after persistence from Ai, Niru warms up to Ai and they become good friends, and Ai actually turns out to be her first ever friend. Rika Kawai is the next friend of Ai's we meet, and even in just the first few minutes she's on screen, you can already tell the type of person she is. Very obnoxious, rude, and selfish, and doesn't even pay for anything she wants, as she believes a beautiful woman like her doesn't need a wallet, and that someone would always pay for her. She constantly asks Ai for money to buy eggs, and that she would pay her back at a later date, but never does, and is pretty clingy to Ai, and always follows her even after they first meet, coincidentally at the same spot they buy eggs from. There is a reason behind this attitude, as Rika used to be a pop idol and is too accustomed to the luxury lifestyle she used to have and is struggling to break her old habits. Rika tries to mask her true feelings away and has a tough as nails personality towards Ai, but her true feelings are finally let out when she and Ai go to the same realm together, and the realm caters to whoever has the strongest feelings, and in that case it was Rika. The person Rika wants to see again isn't a friend or family member, but instead is actually one of her fans, Chimi, but usually she just refers to her as her wallet, and whenever she describes her to Ai, she always calls her fat and ugly. Every time Rika had meet and greets with her fans, Chimi was always there and gave Rika all her allowance money and gifts, and Rika always assumed that she had a rich family until she saw Chimi caught shoplifting one day and was trying to sell the items she stole just so she continued to give Rika more money. Rika, not wanting to be friends with the fan, told Chimi she should stop coming and that it would be embarrassing to have such a fat and ugly friend around. Sadly, Chimi took this to heart and starved herself to death, and when Rika found out about this tragic news, she felt guilty and started to inflict self-harm on herself by cutting her arms. Rika is desperate to see Chimi again and will do whatever it takes to see her again. Rika has also always wondered who her father was and never really got to meet him when she was younger, as her parents were divorced and her mom never really gave her the attention and love she needed, causing her to be very lonely. Another person that could relate to Rika was Ai, as her father left her and her mother, and ever since Ai feels her relationship with her mom feels distant, and she's not really sure if she should be happy for her mom or mad when Mr. Sawaki wants to remarry her. Momoe Sawaki is the final friend we meet, and Momoe is a very kind and caring girl who also has a strong sense of justice and will protect the people she cares about. Momoe is very insecure about herself, specifically her appearance, as many people always confuse her as a boy due to her masculine appearance, and many other girls fall in love with her due to her masculine charm. Momoe hates this as she just wants to be acknowledged as who she really is, but is also in a dilemma as the story hints she's not really sure her about her own sexuality, as on one hand, she is troubled about the fact that other girls like her and is embarrassed about it, but also shows she does like boys as well. An example of that would be when she is protecting an egg girl and the monster thinks Momoi is a boy, and Momoi, having enough of people misgendering her, shouts out she is a girl. Even after the battle is finished, the egg girl she was protecting confesses her love to Momoi, even after knowing her gender, and kisses Momoi before she disappears. The next instance where the story challenges Momoi's sexuality is also another instance of her protecting an egg girl, but this time she's not protecting a girl, but instead a trans boy, and by the end when Momoi is done protecting him, he claims that he's fallen for Momoi and also kisses her, knowing that she is a girl, and for the first time, Momoi didn't mind the advances towards her. The person Momoi wants to see again is her friend Haruka, and was the only person that saw her as who she really was and encouraged her femininity. But one day, Haruka tries to confess her love towards Momoi, and Momoi, startled at this, rejects her. Later on, Momoi learns that Haruka committed suicide for unknown reasons, but feels that one instance she had with her might have been the cause and feels guilty, and so she strives to meet her again. How I think Haruka might have died was by getting hit by a subway train, and this doesn't sound too unrealistic, as the first time we see Haruka's statue state, she is right in front of subway tracks. Wonder Egg Priority does have its fair share of complex and deep characters, but what really makes the show become dark is the plot twist that happens near the end of the show, and more specifically, episode 10. In this episode, Momoi is the first out of all the girls to have fully completed her missions, and so she can finally see Haruka again. But this reunion does not last long, as Haruka quickly fades away, symbolizing that Momoi has finally overcome her trauma and can finally part ways from the person she misses the most. What happens next left me speechless, and is the most disturbing scene in the anime. A creature appears with a scythe and tells Momoi her mission is complete, and proceeds to kill Momoi's pet, which has been helping her with her missions. The monster then starts to eat the meat of the animal and then force feeds it to Momoi. The anime further adds on to this traumatizing scene when Momoi returns home and is having dinner with her mom, and while she eats her dinner, she vomits out the animal's meat. This on its own is pretty heavy, but Wonder Egg Priority doesn't give you time to breathe, but goes even darker. Later, we learn the backstories of Aka and Aka, who are in charge of the eggs, and through their backstory, they shed some more light on why there are so many girls killing themselves. A while back, when Aka and Aka were still scientists, they decided to create a daughter using artificial intelligence, and their project did turn out successful, creating their daughter, Frill. Frill was a cheerful and intelligent girl and was very human-like, as her emotions and feelings were exactly what you expected from a young girl, and even Aka and Aka sometimes forgot she was not human. But she still had one major flaw, and that was jealousy. Things were going great for them until Aka married Azusa, a woman who was fascinated with the work Aka and Aka have accomplished. Frill, who was jealous of Aka giving all his attention to his wife and his baby, felt like she might be replaced by a prettier daughter in the future, and does the unthinkable, killing Azusa and almost killing their baby too. Fortunately, the baby survives, and fearing that Frill might do something crazy again, is locked away. Aka and Aka were thankful for having Himari around now, as her cheerfulness and innocence helped them relieve the pain and trauma Frill left on them. This happiness once again does not last for long, as Frill, using the friends Aka made for her, Dot and Hyphen, who are also the same demons that attacked Rika and Momoi, helped Frill kill Himari by making her commit suicide. Aka and Aka are sick of all the pain and harm Frill has caused them and decide to kill her once and for all, but even when they burn her to death, Frill's soul lives on and has been pushing depressed young girls to their deaths ever since, which explains all the egg girls that took their lives, and now Aka and Aka are trying to stop her. This plot twist was absolutely insane and was a lot to digest when I was watching the anime, but gave a pretty cool reasoning to why these girls just committed suicide without seeking any help first. Wonder Egg Priority explores a plethora of themes covering really mature and serious topics that are seamlessly embedded in the story, which is also conveyed through the characters' actions and feelings beautifully. Wonder Egg Priority covers the harmful and depressing reality of bullying, the painful feeling of suicide, and regret and hopelessness. Everything Wonder Egg Priority depicts all lead to captivate the viewers in ways never done before. Not only does Wonder Egg Priority cover dark subjects, it also covers more light-hearted themes such as the loving bond and acceptance that is built within a lifelong friendship. This casts a foundation where the anime is able to portray the power rooted with friendship and unification. The parallels between all the girls allow for them to overcome their struggles together and to strive for the same goal, which is seeing the person they miss the most. Wonder Egg Priority so perfectly balances out the two topics of light and dark as they contrast one another to point out their own differences. Out of all the animes I've seen so far, Wonder Egg Priority easily embodies what other animes try to do but just can't do well. The symbolic purpose behind different things they talk about are electrifying and help tribute to the overall story. Wonder Egg Priority does an excellent job sprinkling in symbolism here and there to really reinforce its ideas, and is done so smoothly that you might not even notice it when you first watch the show. Although there are plenty of small details throughout Wonder Egg Priority, I want to cover the ones that stood out to me and the ones that I think are the most important. The theme of bullying has a heavy presence in the first episode and is further highlighted with the strange monsters Ai comes across while being chased in the egg realm. The small monsters chasing Ai are called Xeno-Evils, a fitting name for the classmates that were bystanders and provided no help towards Kurumi, the egg girl Ai is protecting, when she was getting tormented and harassed. Xeno-Evils are also shown holding small knives, representing the many thousands of cuts that build upon each other and can lead to someone's death. Alongside with Xeno-Evils, there are also Wonder Killers, who are the main monsters leading the pack of Xeno-Evils and symbolize the main bully who has inflicted the egg girl with the most harm. The next thing that stood out to me would be that each of the four main characters had to protect egg girls that went through the same struggles and trauma they went through, and by doing this, the four girls can grow and change. Ai protects other girls that have been hurt by bullying, and the setting always takes place at her school, which was the place Koito used to be harassed. Niru usually protects girls with trauma that seem external, as Niru struggles to understand others' feelings, and the setting always takes place on a bridge, just like how her sister jumped off a bridge. Rika protects girls that also contemplate their life and also have done self-harm to themselves, whether that be the crazy scientist assistant or the obsessed idol fans. And finally, Momoi protects girls that have been harassed and have been taken advantage of by other men. Next, I want to talk about the most important objects in the entire show, and is in the title too, which are eggs. Eggs are scattered through the whole show and are even in the opening of the anime, with 4 different colors of eggs on screen, each representing the 4 main characters. The first one being yellow for Ai, the second is red for Rika, the third being blue for Momoi, and the last being green for Niru. Eggs aren't just for show and have a double meaning on top of them, also holding egg girls. Eggs have a hard shell to protect them and are gooey inside, kinda like how we are as humans, and how when we feel lonely, we try to hide our true feelings away and protect it from others, just like an eggshell. However, just like how they can be a form of protection, they can be cracked, sometimes by force or sometimes very carefully. It's the act of breaking the eggshell to truly change someone and spell out everything that may be hurting them. This message is illustrated beautifully through all of Wonder Egg Priority, with each character bottling their true feelings from others, but there has been that one person that comes into their life and breaks the shell they are trapped in. The last thing I would like to mention is that each of the 4 main characters' outfits all have meaning and subtly show you the type of person they are. Ai wearing a bright yellow hoodie with a sunflower in the middle, symbolizing her happy personality. Rika wearing a bomber jacket and blue jeans, giving her a rebellious look and with the one pink stripe in her hair. Niru wearing a gray dress, which is the same color associated with workplace attire to represent that she is a busy person. And finally, Momoi having a very tomboy type clothing style to highlight her insecurities of being misgendered by others. The next thing I would like to talk about is the animation for Wonder Egg Priority, and my god, they do not disappoint. The studio that animated this anime is Cloverworks, and they have animated some other very popular animes in the past like Bunny Girl Senpai, The Promised Neverland, Horimiya, and many more. But out of all the projects they have done, One Direct Priority by far has the most cleanest and vibrant animation out of all of them. The art style is very bright and colorful and also does an excellent job at bringing the characters and the atmosphere around it to life and really gives it depth and meaning. The backgrounds with this photorealistic aesthetic are stunning and all the environments feel organic and tangible. When Rika uses her dual blade weapon and then throws them to hit an enemy and it returns back to her like a boomerang was so cool to see, and when Niru uses her compass that could transform into an assault rifle or a sniper was so nice to watch as well. Alongside with its colorfulness, the animation knows when to tone it down and make it darker when necessary. I can't even imagine the amount of time and dedication it took to create this beautiful show, and honestly I hope the employees are getting paid well because this piece of art needs all the attention it deserves and more. The final thing I would like to talk about is the music, and I think out of all the OSTs I've heard from other animes, this just might be my favorite one. The OST for One Direct Priority fits perfectly with its gorgeous animation and has an upbeat / dubstep feel, which is honestly very catchy. The opening and ending are strange for One Direct Priority and are not bad songs at all, no. But just how they are placed is strange. The opening is very slow and calm, but the outro is so energetic and exciting, which is strange as outros are usually slower and the openings are supposed to get you pumped up for the anime. I even used the songs from the anime for this video as I like it that much. Overall, One Direct Priority was just a blast to watch from start to finish and was so well crafted on all fronts and really pushes what you can do with storytelling in anime today. The characters are well written, are very likable, and all have interesting dynamics between each other, and the animation is just superb. I can see why the studio behind this anime calls it a passion project, as it really is, with nothing really lacking at all besides maybe the pacing for the last few episodes could have been a bit better, but there's only so much you can do with only 12 episodes. One Direct Priority isn't fully over as there's supposed to be a 13th episode coming June 29th, which will conclude the show, and I'm hoping it's a long episode as there are still a few unanswered questions left. Maybe could even possibly tease another season as this anime has a lot of potential and can keep going if they really wanted to. It only has an anime adaptation with no original source material along with it, so they're not restricted by anything if they did want to continue, which is good. Well, that concludes the video. Sorry if it was longer than usual, but I just really wanted to dive deeper into this amazing anime and talk about the stuff I absolutely love. Let me know in the comments what are your thoughts on One Direct Priority and the things you liked and disliked. And if you're new to this channel, you should consider hitting the subscribe button if you love anime content. Until the next time we meet again, I hope you guys have a great day.